You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Okay, today I have a very special guest. You know him as the Babe from The Real Housewives of New York. Please welcome the one and only Abe the Babe, Mr. Abe Lichy. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to No Filter.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I'm also excited because you sent over some of you and Erin have this delicious new mezcal.
Yes, we'll have to do a toast at some point in the episode, even though it's in the middle of the day.
We'll do a toast, and I'll even look at. I'm going to open it live right now so people know that I did. This isn't water.
Right.
I didn't pre-do anything. I'll do a live Bethany Frankel taste test.
I want your honest feedback too. No filter, Zach. No filter.
No filter. Did you send Bethany one of these? Has she tried this yet?
I doubt it. Yeah, I think she would actually like it.
Smells
but yeah, it's good. It's good shit actually. It's like really good.
It smells really good. It's called Mezcalum, and so this is your mezcal with Erin, right? You guys created this together.
Yeah, so they had to give due credit to our distiller Carlos, who actually makes the mezcal because it's his comes from him. But yes, Erin and I came up with the brand, built the business, enter people in, investors, all mine, and so far it's going really well. We just want people to try it and keep an open mind. I know mezcal is kind of new to some people because everybody's stuck on tequila, but mezcal is superior. It's the superior spirit.
Well, I feel like it's starting to have its moment. Like people are starting to come on to the mezcal trend.
Yeah, I mean, the level of fastest growing spirit category in the U.S. So a lot of people are getting educated on it, and I think the biggest hurdle has just been, it's just smoking tequila, which is not. It's not even tequila. Tequila is a type of mezcal, but mezcal is not tequila. But people are intimidated by the smoke level. So this is actually relatively light on the smoke. It's more approachable, entry level mezcal, but still premium product.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of mezcals taste like a burnt tire. And so I hear this one's a little lighter on the smoke.
Yes, it goes really well with cocktails too because of that reason. It doesn't overpower it. So we went through about 80 blends with our distiller to come up with the perfect blend of mezcalum.
I like it. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 additives, non-GMO, all vegan. Here, I'm going to take a sip.
Yeah.
Live. Let's see.
Well, if you didn't take a sip, I'll take a sip with you.
That's how we have to start. We have to start it off with a little toast, especially now that Real Housewives of New York is coming. The season's coming to an end. It's coming to a wrap. You can finally breathe again without your dick being on display.
That's on display song.
On display. Okay, I'm gonna taste it.
But I'm just gonna have to make a meme or see memes about that.
That's really good. It's really light. It's not as smoky as a lot of other mezcals. What are some of these undertones that I'm tasting though, actually?
So you've got a lot of these earthy mineral undertones. Yeah, most to it, but it's made so mezcal. I'll keep this short, but mezcal is it can be made from any species of agave. Most mezcal that you'll get in the States is made from espadín. So all of it is a lot of espadín, but we also blended it with a more wild varietal called Lichy, which gives it that really earthy, almost like a sweet and heat type of flavor. So it's got that smoothness to it.
I like it. It's really good. I'm drinking it neat. So that's how you get the real taste and flavor. Because I like tequila. I like a good reposado. And I like a good strong like flavor profile. And this is really good. It's also got like it's a little sweet too. It's not too, the smokiness is not overpowering.
Yeah, I forget somebody's like, yeah, it's got a good level of sweet and heat, and so it's got a little spice to it too on the back of your throat. So I probably set myself up for some joke with that, but
yeah, I mean, listen, it's been a while since I've had a little heat at the back of my throat, but I mean, I'm liking this one. This heat is bringing it for the holiday season. I mean, listen, I would imagine that the heat has been pretty strong considering you guys just announced you're having baby number 4. Is it?
Yeah, so we are certified insane. I think I still haven't fully digested it, but we are excited.
I mean, that's four babies is a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot how to do all the shit, like the burping, the diapers, and all the whole nine. So it's like we're resetting the clock 5 years. So
Is
that would
this?
be
I mean,
fun.
this is the fourth time around. Do you feel like this pregnancy is a little different?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I feel like with every pregnancy, it's at this point. I mean, she's 6 months now. Like, I just need to be done with this. It's, I feel it for her. But at this point, it's like, we're not nervous. Like, we are first time parent. You're nervous about having a kid.
Yeah.
Fuck is that going to be like? And have to be responsible. At this point, right now, whatever. It's another kid. We know that it's just going to be a lot of work and no sleep for a little bit, and a lot of diapers and whatever. But it's easier.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not giving birth, so I don't know.
So now that we're 2 seasons deep into Real Housewives of New York, how do you feel about the decision to put your family and your relationship out for the world to basically consume at this point?
I have very mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't regret the decision at all. It's new to me, right? Like, I'm not a very public person. I mean, now I guess I am a bit more public because I'm on this TV show, but I've always been a fairly private person. And so it's weird to me when I'll get, get Google alerts because I said it for my name. I'm a lawyer, so I kind of have to know what shit is being said in articles and stuff. And so I get Google alerts and it's like, RHONY, there's a skewed because show's husband's dick pic, or like last season with the whole fucking woman comment. They got taken way out of context and became this. Oh, he cheats on her, or cheat on her, and even if she had cancer. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it's weird because I know people, if they Google my name, like clients or whatever, are now seeing this, and so that I don't think I'll ever get used to. But at the same time, I gotta be honest, I do enjoy being on the show. I mean, it's fun. I don't have to put in nearly as much work as the girls, obviously, because I'm, an accessory. But so it's fun, and I don't know. It's just something to do, if that makes any sense. It's just like another kind of a weird thing. I do a lot of weird things, and I've done them in my life. So I just view this as another weird thing that I'm doing for this moment in time. Well, mushrooms has been a long-standing weird thing that I've enjoyed. So.
I've actually been enjoying and vibing on mushroom. That's something new that I explored last year. I love a good like mushroom gum. Now, like microdosing is becoming so popular that I'm like, okay.
I'm so happy that it became popular because I've been doing this since in college, and all of a sudden it's like now all my fancy friends who are the suburban mom types go to dinner, and it's like the new normal thing, and it's awesome. And I don't mind the macro from time to time, but the micro is more manageable now that I'm going to be a parent of 4. I can't be tripping balls all the time, obviously.
So was that a conversation that you guys had going into the show, being that you're an attorney, you have, a profession where you kind of have, like, I would imagine your reputation is something that is, really important for you, that, you can't really control the narrative once the show airs. Was there like, okay, we're not going to talk about these things, or we're only going to share these parts of our relationship? Or was it more of like fair game, whatever comes up, and we'll deal with it in the moment?
I'll say more of the latter. I used to work at a really large firm, like your stereotypical white shoe law firm, and one of the reasons I started my own practice was because I'm not the type of person that likes to be confined and have to really limit who I am in whatever capacity. And so, I have all the great clients. I'm in the entertainment and media space. It's my general world. So if I'm talking about mushrooms and making sure about mushrooms, most of my clients don't care. And if they do, with none of them have cared that I know. It's not the type of client that I probably would be working with anyway. So, it's fair game, but also, like use your brain. Don't say anything like really, really fucked up. Which I've learned amongst people that I'm just meeting for the first time anyway, like in private setting, I say some really crazy shit, but those are for, close friends. So it's just as if you're just in a group of new acquaintances. It's how I view the threshold of crazy things to say or not say.
Yeah. How do you feel about Bryn? I know last season she was actively crushing on you, and then that became like a big topic of conversation. Last season, you became Abe the Babe, and there
Thank
was,
you.
but it led to like some tension about like whether or not she was inappropriate by making comments about divorce in you and Erin.
It's so funny. I think in general, the audience can be really over literal many times. It was just fun and games. Like I would have the same banter with friends and in real life where she's not like actually hitting on me. No, let's be real. She's just being flirty and like that's her personality, and I've read a lot, and I think she's just fun in that way. Like for people to think that there's anything more than that is just wild to me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. People like to speculate. Yeah, actually, I had a question for you because you're in this world. Do you think that most people actually believe the shit that they're saying, the over literal stuff, or it's just for themselves, just fun and games? I've always wondered, like, the level of seriousness when people say these things.
You mean like from an audience perspective?
Yeah, well, like they got that damn social media people speculating, oh, she wants them to get divorced because she wants to fuck you, kind of shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do people actually believe this? Because that would be wild to me, but I'm just curious.
I think that majority of the audience, and I like to consider myself in that majority that has, critical thinking skills and can separate, they can read between the lines and adds context to things and things that, the world is not black and white, but we all live in the gray. I don't take things so literally, but I think that there is a tiny fraction of people that are really loud on social media, and they are the ones that maybe do take things a little too seriously, and they're also the loudest, people online that are, gonna wanting to get revved up about. Like for me, like this has now become, my job to have a daily podcast and to talk about, reality TV and pop culture. So I do cover it a lot, but I think the average American that's watching these shows is like not that invested as like most of these Twitter trolls that don't have a profile picture. So rest assured that even the loud trolls online don't represent majority of the people that are watching these shows.
That's what I figured, and it honestly didn't matter to me either way. I was just more interested. Because this is all very new to me still, so I'm always just curious,
well,
all that stuff. So
on that note, though, but like, what do you think? I feel like Real Houses of New York, and I've had my own critiques of the show myself, and I think the hard part is you have this established franchise of Real Housewives of New York that had this cast that was so beloved for so many years. You introduce a new cast, and I feel like the audience has kind of been giving this new cast and this rebooted version of the show a lot of heat. What are your thoughts on some of that like social media chatter?
I get the critique, so I'll start by saying that, like, I understand what the critique is. I think one of the seminal laws of power is don't step into a great man's shoe or a woman's shoe.
Yeah.
So, stepping into this well-known franchise that's been long-standing with beloved characters, or there's people know the show to be associated with. I think automatically it's going to set up the initial perspective of really putting it under a microscope. But on the flip side, I mean, I do think that some of these critiques and criticisms are completely valid.
Yeah.
And, I think it was a little slow burning this season, although I think the rest of the season, the past couple of episodes, and then I've seen the rest of the season, it's actually really entertaining and really good. I think it's about hitting a stride. And look, it's only been 2 seasons. I think everybody's figure out their footing. I also think that unfortunately is just a different time in the media world where there is no to lose, individually as far as being too batshit crazy or whatever. And I think there's some level of self-awareness, but I also think that I do think that they're starting to gel as a friend group and as a cast. And I think next season will be, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I think it'll be good. I think people are getting used to what this is. It's new to everybody. So
I
get it.
I've always said it's a whole new show, but we're comparing it to the lens of what the old show was. And I think that's what always did it a disservice, is calling it the same name and saying we're moving from season 13 to season 14. Whereas I feel like this cast just feels it's all very new. It's all very fresh. And you can't really compare the two. And I think the comparison is unfair. What do you think about Brynn? I feel like Brynn's getting a really tough season, and you know her personally. And do you, now that you kind of know the rest of the season, do you have a side on Team Brynn or Team Uba?
It's one of the things that I typically don't do. Although I'll answer your question to a degree, but I feel very strong about not gossiping about the girls and like focusing too much on that. But I will say, I like each of them very much individually. And so, as it stands a step between them, it'll be a gray area. So they're both right, they're both wrong in different respects. But that's probably all I want to say on that.
So, okay. So I feel like you're leaning a little more towards Team Brynn.
No.
Okay.
I'm neutral here. I haven't been involved in the girls' drama, really.
That's actually good. I think the husbands get heat when they get too involved in the drama, and we see that with some of the other franchises. Because
I've heard.
then I feel like the husbands just get too invested.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to do. I mean, I wouldn't do that in my real life, so to speak. Not that this isn't real, but with our close group of friends, like I think it's weird to get involved in the women's affairs as a man. I'll be there as a sounding board for Erin if she wants my opinion on something about a situation. But I think to insert yourself, also like you have to be crazy to want to insert yourself in female drama. I mean, maybe we'll come to that.
Yeah. I feel like one thing in particular that your wife Erin took some heat for was like making the personal choice to open up about her abortion, and that I know couldn't have been an easy decision for her to make, to bring it up on the show. How did you guys discuss that at home, and like how did you try to support her? Because like obviously when you bring up something that shouldn't be political, but has become such a political issue, like you're going to get a mixed reaction from the audience, where there are concerns, where there are hesitations, and like, how did you, be a support system for her to talk about that?
That's a good question. I mean, Abby is immediately supportive of her decision to do it. I'll say I never told her not to do something like that. If she wanted to do that, that's her story to tell. And of course, I'm supportive. Am I aware of all the other things that you're saying? 100%. So it's like you're already pissed half the country off in the beginning of season 1, and now you're going to piss the other half off. So you're in good shape there. And look, I think people in general need to stop being so polarized and making everything so politicized, because it's just like, let's move on from that. Not everything is black and white. People have nuanced views of the world, and people need to stop making assumptions about a person's entire character because of one thing they think that person did or didn't do. And instead of people just coming together and just talking to each other, sharing ideas, realizing that for the most part, I would say 95% of the country probably shares the same core values. So let's start from the core values instead of like one specific issue, which is already nuanced most of the time anyway. And it's not big dicks to each other. I mean, it's enough. It's enough. Everybody's oversensitive. canceling each other. And I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Listen, I'm fucking tired of it. And I say it on this podcast, and I still get my whippings accordingly for saying we just need to be nicer to each other. You know, like I have a large audience that is on all sides of the political spectrum that, like, I'm not going to tell one person they're wrong, they're right, because I know that we're all somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? And we all have way more similarities than we have differences. But I guess to piggyback off of that, what did you think when people were pulling those comparisons of, you know, her now choosing to publicly speak about having an abortion, but then there was also last season the conversation of her, you know, being supportive of the Trump administration in the past, and so people are saying that those two things don't go together.
I think people have a very, very wrong understanding and perception of both of these things.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak too much about the politics side of it because I think, you know, it's not my business, it's her thing. But I will say that people have grossly misperceived all of it. And it's just, it's wild to me because I'm aware of all of it. Like, I'm a lawyer. I read shit and I analyze. People have a very, very incorrect perception of her in this matter and us. And so it's like, it's the silly people who are like, oh, tyrants. Well, like, you be tolerant of what you might perceive as something that's not in line with your view.
Yeah.
You should be open-minded. Like, stop being so closed-minded, people. Like, wake up. Not everything is so black and white, and not everything is as it seems. I mean, it's insane to me. It's insane.
I think the world is a lot more purple than it is red or blue. I know I myself have evolved politically over the years. I will say I do see, I do think it's fair for people to link the two together, but I think when you don't add context, or like, I think what it is we like to put people in two different boxes, right? And we forget that, like, as people, as humans, we're multifaceted and we don't fit in one box or the other. So we can have differing viewpoints, or we can agree with both sides, or we can sit somewhere in the middle, and like, that's okay. And I think hopefully, I feel like we're starting to move into a time where it's okay to say that that's okay, and it's okay to embrace being more in the middle, you know, being more in that gray, not the black or white, not the red or blue, but just kind of sitting in the middle and just being like, listen, we all are going to see the world very differently. We're all going to, you know, I think at the end of the day, inherently have the same values, but like, the details are going to be a little different, right?
100%. But one thing I'd add to that is, I think it's totally fair for people to ask questions and out of interest of, you know, I perceive this from last year. How does that tie together with this? That's a fair question. What I don't think is fair is when people make assumptions.
Yeah.
And then speculate and make just what I've seen is very incorrect and inaccurate tie-ins to what they perceive. And that, I think, is intellectually lazy.
Yeah.
That was totally fair, 100%. Tie-ins like that and assumptions, I think, are just, you know, again, very lazy. People need to use their critical thinking hat. So
I agree. Piggybacking off of that, how do you feel that your dick pic has become the topic of conversation this season?
It's not the worst thing that's happened to me, obviously.
Nobody said, listen, on Real Housewives of Orange County, they were making fun of Gina's husband for being, you know, on the smaller side. So I don't think the fact that the conversation is on the bigger side, I don't think that is a bad conversation to be having on national television.
No. It's funny.
I think
she, you know, we didn't talk about it. It wasn't something that was scripted or planned beforehand. She called me after she showed that. She's like, "Hey, just, you know, showed Jen a dick pic." I'm like, "What the fuck?" But I also trust Erin. You know, there's kind of this. Because I've heard, you know, the girls on the show too. I think there's mixed reactions on, like, is that fucked up that she showed her husband's dick pic without consent? It's like, we've been married for 13 years, been together for longer. You've been with somebody for that long. there's just a level of trust that you know that the person is going to act in whether it's your best interest or on the inverse, just not do something that's going to be against your interests like that. And so I full trust Erin. And obviously, you know, it worked out in my favor. So whatever. But it's wild. I mean, if you do me in college, and then we would be like, what the fuck are you doing on the Real Housewives of New York? I had heard out to hear that you're playing in a jam band. Like totally not the type. But I still don't feel like I feel like I'm an imposter being on the show. Just like I'm not the type. But beyond that, I'd be like People Magazine writing about your date pic. I would have laughed and said you're crazy. So well, we are going in the Twilight Zone.
So is that the key to keeping marriage spicy? 4 kids in is dick pics.
I don't send her dick pics, by the way. She has like some old ones on her phone, just she had, I guess. But I'm not like sending her dick pics all the time. Well, not that crazy.
I don't know. You guys seem like the fun couple. I mean, Jenna's ready, or not Jenna. Definitely not Jenna. Bryn's ready to line up anytime. I don't know. Jenna seemed impressed. Actually, Jenna seemed pretty on board with it too. But Bryn's first in line if you guys are ever opening the door.
One day we might open the door. But there are rules. But we are fun. I think there's a lot of prudishness. Yeah. I'm actually surprised by the level of prudishness that I've been seeing from audience reactions on this specific issue. It's like, okay, it's a big pick. It's not that big of a deal. And just stuff in general, like sex, talk about sex.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares? Like, can we stop pretending as a society to really care about these things and be so offended, or it's like, oh my God, it's like I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a big deal. We're not like out there doing like, you know, as exhibitionists.
Yeah.
You know, not on OnlyFans, not yet. Weird shit like that. It's like, this is how people talk with their friends, at least in my circle, and I think most people who are close friends, they get inappropriate jokes sometimes, talk about sex sometimes. It is what it is. I mean, that's life. And so you'd be so offended. I think I call bullshit. Bullshit.
The people that are that offended by it need to get laid. And also, to piggyback off that, the people that are so offended by your dick pic, I assure you, will be the first ones downloading it if it ever leaks on the internet. They'll be saving it. Everybody wants to clutch their pearls when they want to be morally superior on Twitter, and then when the doors are closed. Yeah,
I gotta think of a good reasonable rate for what I would charge to get an exclusive to a media
to a media outlet, or just set up the OnlyFans.
Man, I'm not to say up OnlyFans. I'm sorry.
Or just say, the mezcal. Ordered a case of mezcal, and you'll get it emailed to you. Order 2 cases.
That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
Listen, I know.
Maybe like now, Willy Wonka, it's the golden ticket. We could put like in one of the packages
a message in a bottle. Dick in a bottle.
Message in a bottle. Dick in a bottle. You heard dick in a bottle? We got dick in a bottle at mescaline.com.
I love it. What did you think of the Rebecca Minkoff pregnancy prank? I feel like there was a lot of heat that came from that because people were like, "Oh, that was such a dumb prank, and you fooled the audience, and it didn't land well."
That was dumb.
Yeah,
that was weird. But I also, I bet the editors. I'm just being very honest here. But the editors, they knew that it was a prank, obviously, while they're editing. And so I think the girls picked up a lot of heat for the prank because it was compounded with how it was set up in the lead up. I think the audience know there was a prank beforehand. I just thought that was a weird prank that Rebecca came up with. I know Erin went along with that, but whatever. It was weird. It was a weird thing. Yeah.
Thoughts on
That's the
Rebecca?
intent, but um, I'm not trying to say this diplomatically.
Big fan.
I've hung out with her a few times, and she's been very nice to me. Her husband's lovely. Her kids are really sweet, which says a lot about them as parents.
Yeah.
I don't like what she said about her handbag business recently. I thought that was kind of a low blow. You don't knock somebody's business just because it didn't work out. You can critique the style, whatever, but I don't think that was cool. But I don't care. I don't think about her. Like, I'm not losing sleep over Rebecca Minkoff.
I don't think
I didn't think that was good. I didn't think that. Yeah.
She's been a bit of a snooze fest this season. I'm saying that, not Abe. I just want to clarify for the podcast. That's my critique of Rebecca. Yeah, I don't know. It's always challenging when you're the new girl joining the group, but if you're the pregnancy prank, I do blame the editors more than I blame any of the women, because they put it into the trailer and they kind of built it up for the audience to be like, oh, this going to be an interesting storyline. And then it ultimately ends up being a prank at the end of the day. But it was definitely a prank that I think she was hoping would make her more interesting on the show, and it kind of just backfired.
Yeah. I don't think there'll be pranks next season. And I thought the cop woman prank was hilarious. Maybe more so when she was telling me about it. It was really funny. I don't know if they really edited it to really capture it, but I thought that was funny. So I think the lesson is no more pranks on the show for next season, at least. I think we could take a break from that, I hope, and do other things.
Pranks just usually don't land very well, because it's really hard to edit the prank. And then, I mean, unless you let the audience in on it, like the Kardashians always did pranks really well on their show on E. But like you have to really like let the audience in on the prank, and like you can't also fool the audience, because the audience doesn't like getting tricked. They have to be.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Do we get to see you at the reunion?
I think they're not allowed to answer that or not. Not that I don't want to, but you have to watch.
All right. Well, the season is coming to an end. Are you looking forward to having a break now that the season's going to wrap, the reunion's going to wrap, it's going to air? You'll have like a bit of a pause before going into production for a potential third season.
Yeah, I've been on breaks and filming stopped. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, but at least it chatted the social media.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I've been sucked into this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously I'm aware that the show's airing, that there are these articles coming out and the subject matter of certain episodes. Like, I get that. I'm not naive to that, but like, I have a job, multiple jobs, multiple businesses, and like I don't have time to really like get sucked into all this. So it feels like there's a small amount of time that I contribute to it to begin with, but it's just Erin. So I think for Erin, it'll be nice. The baby's coming, to early April, and so just having a couple of months. I don't know when filming picks up again for next season yet, but it will be nice to just have nothing. We have a lot of other things going on, especially with the new year with Mezcal. We have a lot of cool things that we'll be announcing soon, so it'll be nice.
That will be nice. I did put a call out to viewers of RHONY to see if they had any questions for you. I found this one kind of funny. George R. Manatee says, if you had to take a dip in the gentleman pond, who is Erin allowing as your hall pass?
Oh my God. I don't really have a title if I were to do that. I don't know.
Would you give Erin a hall pass?
With a guy?
Yeah.
No.
You guys would never do hall passes?
I mean...
Would Bryn get the hall pass?
With Erin? Or
with you?
There's nothing between me and bitter. Not a what's happening, guys.
You have to
Sorry.
give us something to fantasize about. We need the good season 5 scandal that'll break in a couple years. Like the good, oh, we always knew it was Bryn and Abe, and they were, touching when the cameras weren't looking, and now the scandal is broken.
There will probably be a scandal at some point. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see. There's a lot of time. But that long ass question, they joked about this last season. I think it was a half joke, but when I'm in my early 40s, she's in her late 30s. I think that happens like you go to your 50s. I can see that being more of a viable actual thing because we're so monogamous at this point, and if there's kind of an awareness and a consent to it, I can see something possible with the swinging stuff and other. I don't know, but it's not a right now thing. I think when the kids are older, in general, when kids are older, it's weird. I think there's too much risk when you have young kids to experiment like that. So,
well, now you're starting over. Now you got 18 years before that game.
Well, then most of the kids are older. We'll see. I don't think Kelly. She kills me when I talk about this. So she just talk about the swinging. But I can't shut my mouth. I have a problem. I don't have a filter. I think you can relate to that.
Well, listen, that's why I was like, listen, you can't come on No Filter if there's going to be anytime anyone says these questions are off limits. I'm like, oh, sorry, we're booked through the end of the year. So I appreciate it.
I love that. Like I was at a couple of other podcasts recently, and I have this policy of no editing. But if you have to edit just for formatting sake, fine. But look, I don't like whatever I say on the show on the podcast. I don't want to edit it out, even if it's not good, because I don't believe it. Just people saying, speaking their mind and just being with them. And Ryan Barrett was saying, I don't know who this. He was saying most talent that he has on the Broadway world, it's all these stipulations and like they have all these things. You can't ask about this, you can't do this, and if you do go with that, we have the right to edit it. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be a reality TV show? Like, if it's so edited, it's not real. And so, if it's good or bad, whatever, just be yourself, I guess. I don't know. But that policy, no editing, no filter.
Yeah. I agree. Listen, and I do love Ryan Bailey, and I can tell him that I push back. Anytime they give me provisions, I do always push back, and I always end up getting my way at the end of the day because it's No Filter with Zack Peter. You can't come on No Filter and have all the filters in place. And I just think like from an audience perspective, like a consumer perspective of people that are listening or watching the podcast, I want them to get to know you as a person, right? And if there are certain topics, like every time there's like a housewife or somebody that wants to come on, but there's like a scandal that they don't want to touch on, I'm like, but these are the questions that the audience asks. I can't control how you answer the question. I can't control how you choose to, dance around the topic or not. But my job is to just ask the questions that the audience is interested in. And from there, hopefully create an interesting conversation that is going to keep them listening all the way through. And the intention of every interview that I do is to hopefully, change the audience's perspective and kind of, let them fall in love with you a little bit more.
Or just understand the situation. I mean, the whole row, right? Which if you can get, if there's like a big scandal and you're able to get like a headline or the response that's exclusively posts on your podcast, like that's great, obviously. So I think totally their game to ask the questions. If somebody doesn't want to answer it, that's totally their right. Yeah. But I imagine there's also a level of disappointment, and that probably puts pressure on you as the podcast host of people expect answers with whatever the scandal du jour is, and if they don't get it, they're like, "Wow, fuck," they leave disappointed or something.
Yeah.
So,
Not only that though, but like that's why I personally like to take on the more polarizing people because I do like to humanize them. I do like to show the other side of them because I feel like especially on reality television, we only get a singular viewpoint of who you are based off of that edit. And when you're a collective show, it's very hard to find out who you are. So I like to showcase people who they are in their true light. And if the audience, I mean, my intention is to have the audience fall in love with you and actually get to know you, and I'm giving you the opportunity to do that. Some people, choose to be a little more guarded and then it ends up backfiring them, but that's why I think especially when it comes to reality television, you have to just go into it. You have to be fully transparent and you have to be fully yourself. And that's where, like to compare it to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now, Dorit Kemsley is kind of the star of the season. And I think it's truly because she's just fully let her guard down. She's talking about her separation. She's talking about her divorce. She's smoking on camera. Like at this point, she really has no fucks left.
You could do that. You would smoke on camera? Like that show that?
Well, I think it was just normally the housewives don't like to smoke on camera, or they do it very sparingly. But in this case, she was just in her car ripping a cigarette, and she didn't realize that like the camera, she knew the cameras on her, but I think she realized they would air it, and then they did air it to just show she's in like a zero fucks given era, and the audience just really responded well to it, and I don't think she thought about that going into the season. I don't think she thought I'm just going to be radically transparent this season and show myself warts and all. I think she just did that based off of the vulnerable place that she's in her life, and the audience responded to that because I think they like that refreshing transparency.
I totally get that. And just something we were saying right before that about giving people the opportunity to just show the more kind of the range of who they actually are. I think that's awesome. All why I've been going on these podcasts. I've been having fun with it, but also, talk about my business, whatever. But for the men specifically on these housewives franchises, I'm not talking about like the summer houses of the world where the men are actually paid cast members. The men on these housewife franchises, we're not cast members. And for the most part, we are showing a very limited light, usually with a negative light, although I thankfully didn't, like, I had a decent season, I would say, as far as like not too much bad shit. But it's a tough, like, I don't think anybody can actually appreciate it, really, unless you're very in the situation. And I've talked to a lot of the other house husbands who I've met over the past couple of years, and it's a common thought and experience where it's a very big thing where we tend to be shown as men in a kind of more negative light because they either won't show us or they'll show because we're involved in something that is like, we did something fucked up or whatever it is. And so, which is kind of fucked up, to be honest. And so I think it's great that there are these podcasts where we can come on, just, and all the other things we want to talk about. People can get to know us. And so it's great. There's that opportunity. And that's like, people like you who will actually care about that and are willing to ask questions, and the audience can decide for themselves if they like somebody or not, but just to feel more range in actual humanity as opposed to just the headline of so did this really fucked up thing, and honestly most of the time I see headlines, I'm like, I wonder what really happened, because I've seen my own headlines and I'm like, that's not what happened, and there's wild speculation. And so what I'm going to say, so guys, we thank you.
Listen, I have been able to read the landscape so well. I already know when somebody says something, when it's going to become a headline from the podcast. But like I said, I like people to read beyond the headlines and actually get the full context of things, because then I think it just, I don't know, it gives you a different perspective, and I think it gives you a more well-rounded perspective.
100%.
Well, thank you for joining me, Abe. I'm excited. Everyone needs to go and check out the mezcal. It's a great holiday gift. You can order it online, right? Mezcalloon.com.
Mezcalloon.com. We've got a whole recipes page. We've got a really cool find us feature, so you can put your zip code in or even your address, and it'll show you all the locations, restaurants, bars, but also liquor stores. A lot of buy it in person, but most states we ship to online. So, and if you do buy it and you make a cocktail with them, please tag us. And we, love reposting people's different cocktail inventions or just, fun things that they do with it. So
I want to try. I want to try either this pumpkin old fashioned or this apple cider mezcal margarita. I think I have to do the apple cider.
The apple cider. Yeah, although the pumpkin is actually surprisingly good, but that's for sure. Like the apple cider is better.
I grew up in Los Angeles, so we don't have We don't have like a bunch of apple orchards around.
We have apples.
We have apples, but like apple, because I was talking to one of my other friends about, he's like, I'm from Pennsylvania, so in the fall we have seasons and like we go apple pick. And because I was like, who realistically drinks apple cider? And he's like, apple cider is such a thing. He's like, in Pennsylvania, in the fall, we go apple pick, we do all these things. I was like, we don't have real pumpkin patches in Los Angeles. Like we have parking lot pumpkin. I went to parking lot pumpkin patches, or we went to Ralph's if we wanted to get a pumpkin. Like we in Los Angeles.
That's facts to LA. Nothing's really real in LA, if we're being honest. So that's totally fact.
So so I've never done.
Well, I'll give you a piece of New York. Apples, New York.
There we go.
I wonder if that's why the marketing person sent the apple thing. Very clever if she did, but.
That is.
I'm gonna ask her.
Well, listen, I'm liking the mezcaloom. It's light on the smoke, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 additives, non-GMO, all vegan, and it's quite tasty, and it's really light on the palate too. I'm drinking it neat, and drinking it neat is when really
it's the best way.
And if you can drink it neat, that says that it's good.
It's we want a bunch of best in shows. And technical metals, especially a really high quality product, which is, you're not only buying something under $50, like, okay, is this good quality, or am I just drinking like, fucking Smirnoff? This is a little burn I'm soaking here. The quality's great. Like you can drink it straight, and it's a premium quality spirit, and you drink straight cocktails, whatever. But anyway, I'm rambling about mescaline now, but I'm glad you like it.
Hopefully people go and buy some. Like I said, great for holiday parties, great as a gift to give to someone this holiday season. Abe the Babe, thank you for coming on. I look forward to hopefully seeing you at the reunion, and hopefully production will pick up again soon so we can continue to follow your journey with Erin and baby number 4, because that's going to be exciting. 4 kids. You're going to be
yes. Well, thank you for having me, Zach, and it was good getting to know you too. So I appreciate it.
All right. Well, when I'm in New York, or if you come to LA, we'll have to make it happen again soon, and maybe do something in studio.
I love it. I always love in studio when possible, so I'm in.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Abe.
All right. Bye.